Good afternoon. In this presentation, I'll walk through how sensitivity analysis can be used as a capital budgeting tool when evaluating a franchise-style investment. It'll use the example of owning a Jamaican-themed restaurant franchise to explain how managers can initiate risk into financial decision-making in a practical way. So, first thing that we're going to talk about is going to be the goal and functions of financial management. And I like to break those down into 4 different items. So 1, maximize firm value. 2, ensure adequate cash flow. 3, balance risk and return. And 4, the main thing, support long-term strategic decisions. Now, what is this all about? So, the primary goal of financial management is to maximize firm value while managing risk responsibility. In a franchise setting, this means ensuring the restaurant generates enough cash to cover operating costs, debt, obligations, and future growth. Financial management also focuses on balancing risk and return, taking on projects that generate value without exposing the businesses to unnecessary financial distress. So, continuing that, capital budgeting and sensitivity analysis. So we're going to kind of break this down now as well. So capital budgeting, what this is doing is it evaluates long-term investments. And then what happens after that is you have sensitivity analysis tests, what-if scenarios. So to kind of continue on this, capital budgeting helps determine whether a long-term project like opening a new franchise location is financially viable. So what we're going to do is we want analysis, basically, is going to play a role into testing how changes in assumptions such as sale volumes or cost affect project outcomes. This allows decision makers to identify which variables pose the greatest risk before committing resources. A great example would be opening a Jamaican restaurant, but you want to make sure you open this restaurant in a state and city that has a Jamaican population. These are some of those variables that can happen. So we want to focus on the key drivers of project success and identify risks before committing capital. So one risk could be opening an area where there's not a big Jamaican population. That is some of those variables and risks that go into this. So again, we're going to continue on to this. So some factors for the sensitivity analysis. So continuing with this, for a Jamaican restaurant franchise, some inputs include startup costs, expected customer value, menu pricing, and ongoing expenses. Basically what this is talking about is sensitivity analysis examines how small changes like a 10% drop in sales or higher labor costs impact cash flow. This helps assess whether the project remains profitable under less than ideal conditions. All right, so that kind of makes sense with there. So the startup costs, you have to think about all the equipment, the lease, or are you going to own the property? Like, what are the improvements going to be? Sale volume and pricing. Are you going to have different pricing at a different location? Do you even have that kind of option? And so forth. All right, so now we're going to get into some factors in sensitivity analysis as well. So not all risks can be measured numerically. Qualitative factors matter, especially in the restaurant industry. For example, the cultural appeal of a Jamaican-themed restaurant, management experience, and location quality can strongly influence success. Sensitivity analysis should consider how these factors might amplify or reduce financial risk over time. So some things that we're exactly talking about is the cultural appeal and menu differentiations. Are we going to have a lot of menu options? Are we not going to have a lot of menu options? And so forth. And basically it all ties in together to making sure that you can have that profitable business over time. Next thing, internal and external methods to assess risk. So risk assessment combines internal and external methods. Internally, managers use pro forma income statements and cash budgets to forecast performance. Externally, industry benchmarks and market research help validate assumptions for a franchise. Comparing average restaurant margins and consumer spending trends help determine whether projects are realistic. And basically what's helping is if those projections are not realistic, then they can be like, okay, let's make some adjustments here and there. All right, so basically the conclusion why sensitivity analysis matters. So this is actually very important. Sensitivity analysis is essential because it shows where risk truly lies. For a franchise owner, it helps determine whether the business can survive lower sales, higher costs, or economic slowdowns. This reduces the chance of over-leveraging debt and supports smarter, cash-focused growth. That is why this is so important, and this improves long-term sustainability. Thank you for watching my presentation. Here are the resources that we use to make this possible. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and also thank you for viewing this presentation. If you have any questions, please comment or let me know. Thank you and have a great day.